We begin this chapter with Chi. To the Igbos, Chi is the unseen hand that shapes a person's journey. It is the spirit within, the guardian that walks beside every man and woman from the moment of birth. It is said that no two people share the same Chi, for each destiny is unique, carved by its own flame. Chi is not distant, it is close, closer than breath, quieter than thought. It listens in silence, guiding steps that are unsure, opening doors when the path seems closed. When a person succeeds, it is their Chi that has smiled upon them. When they fail, it is their Chi that has withheld its hand. The Igbos say, Onye kwe, Chi ya ekwe, meaning, if one agrees, their Chi agrees. Destiny and will must work together. People honor their Chi with offerings of kola nuts, palm wine, and whispered prayers at dawn. A small shrine, a carved image, or a sacred spot in the home could serve as its dwelling place. It is not worship from afar, but a quiet conversation with the spirit that holds one's fate. To neglect one's Chi was to walk blindly, to fight against the current of life. For the Chi sees further than the eyes and knows the path long before the traveler begins the journey. Even now, when the Igbo rise in the morning and whisper a prayer, they turn to their Chi first. For kingdoms may fall, wealth may scatter, but a person's Chi remains, faithful, eternal, carrying their destiny until the very end. Next is Ikenga. In the land of the Igbo, there is a spirit that does not sleep. Its horns curve like the ram, its face carved from wood, but its heart burns with fire. This spirit is called Ikenga, the strength of the right hand, the hand that clears the forest, that lifts the harvest, that wins the title of honor. They say when a boy grows into a man and he takes his first step into the world of labor, whether to till the soil, to hunt the wild animals, or to seek the honor of titles, he must also raise his Ikenga. The elders carve it with care, giving it the horns of the ram, for the ram does not retreat. It lowers its head, digs its feet into the earth, and charges. So too must a man meet his destiny, not with fear, but with the courage of a ram in battle. In every hut where Ikenga stood, it was not left hungry. At dawn, before the first hole struck the ground, kola nut was broken, palm wine poured upon the earth, sometimes even the blood of a cock was given. The man would kneel, touch the horns, and whisper, Ikenga, strengthen my hand, let my sweat bear fruit, let no enemy block my path. And as he rose, he would walk with confidence, for he felt his right hand carried more than flesh and bone. It carried spirit. It was once said that there were men who let dust gather upon their Ikenga, who left its horns dull and dry. At first, their farms grew, their trades brought wealth, and they laughed at the morning prayers of their neighbors. But soon, their barns emptied, their hands faltered, and their names lost weight in the marketplace. The elders would shake their heads and say, the hand that forgets its Ikenga forgets its strength. Even now, though the shrines are fewer, the Igbo still remember. Ikenga lives in their proverbs, their carvings, their stories by the fireside. A figure seated, horns raised, the knife of victory in one hand, the symbols of achievement in the other. For though men may change, Ikenga endures. It waits, it watches, it teaches. Strength and destiny are not gifts, they are earned by the hand that dares and the hand that remembers. Next is Ekwensu. In the days when the Igbo world was still young, when men spoke with gods and spirits walked freely among mortals, there was one who was feared and respected in equal measure. His name was Ekwensu, the god of war, the master of bargains, the trickster, whose cunning tricks was sharper than any blade. When villages prepared for war, offerings were made at his shrine. The blood of a cock spilled upon the earth, palm wine poured in libation, kola nuts broken and shared among the warriors. They believed his fire gave them courage when their legs grew weak, and his spirit made them fierce in battle. But Ekwensu was not only about strength, he was also cunning. He taught warriors to think, to ambush, to win with the mind as well as the machete. But when the dust of war settled, he did not sleep. No, Ekwensu also walked in the marketplace. He would move from stall to stall, unseen yet present, and wherever he lingered, trouble followed. It was once said that a proud trader swore that no yam of his would sell for less than 10 cowries. Yet, when Ekwensu's whisper filled the air, the trader found himself nodding at 5. Another day, a woman came with palm oil red as the setting sun, vowing to keep her price high. But before midday, her pot was empty, her oil gone for almost nothing. She went home bankrupt. The ancient Igbolands saw Ekwensu not only as the god of war, but as the spirit of cleverness, of bargains, of the mind that turns defeat into victory. To face him was to enter a contest where strength alone could not save you. That is why the people compared him to the tortoise, slow of foot but never foolish, always ready with a trick hidden beneath his shell. Those who wished for success in their trade would whisper his name, leaving offerings at the edge of the market or at the shrine where his spirit lingered. For they knew, without Ekwensu, no bargain was safe, no war could be truly won. Even now, though his shrines are fewer, the Igbo have not forgotten. They remember him in proverbs, in tales of war, and in the cleverness of the tortoise. For Ekwensu is not simply a spirit of chaos, he is the fire that tests the hand and the mind, a reminder that in life, strength alone is not enough. One must also be cunning. Next is Njoku. The ancient Igbos believed that yam was not just food, but life itself, and they trusted one spirit to guard it. His name was Njoku, the god of yam, the giver of wealth, and the keeper of the farmer's pride. In Igboland, yam was not an ordinary crop. It was the king of food, the measure of a man's strength, the symbol of his honor, and Njoku was its guardian. At the breaking of the planting season, the farmer would kneel before his shrine, offering kola nut, palm wine, and sometimes the blood of a goat, calling upon Njoku to bless his mounds. For they believed, without his favor, the earth would stay barren, and the yam tendrils would wither before the rains. They said a man who prospered in yam was a man Njoku had smiled upon. His barns would rise tall, and his name would carry weight in the village. But the man who neglected him, his yam yields would collapse, his harvest would rot, and shame would follow him to the marketplace. When a young man prospered in yam, he was given a title, for yam was not just food, but wealth, a staff upon which families leaned. Njoku was the spirit who taught patience, for yam takes time to grow, and the hand that waits in discipline reaps the reward. At the annual New Yam Festival, the first tuber was not eaten until prayers were said to Njoku. The elders would lift the yam high, break kola nuts, pour libation, and give thanks, for they knew the harvest was not theirs alone. It was Njoku's blessing. Even now, though the ways of farming have changed, the Igbo still say, "He who has yam has respect." And in every proverb, in every barn, Njoku lives on, the spirit of wealth, patience, and honor, reminding us that prosperity comes not by haste, but by the hand that plants with faith and reaps with gratitude. Next is Agun Isi. The ancient Igbos believed that not all strength was in the hand, and not all wisdom was in the book. There was a spirit who ruled over the unseen, who held the key to mysteries, divination, and the knowledge of medicine. His name was Agun Isi, the spirit of diviners, the guide of healers, the master of hidden wisdom. When a child was born with strange gifts, seeing visions, speaking words beyond their age, or falling into trances, the elders would say, Agun has claimed this one. That child would one day serve as a diviner, a healer, or a seer, for Agun Isi walked in the minds of men, stirring dreams and opening doors to hidden truths. In every community, the Dibia, the medicine man, called upon Agun Isi. His shrine stood apart, marked with white chalk, feathers, bones, and clay pots. Sacrifices of cock, goat, and kola nuts were laid there, for no true divination could be done without Agun's blessing. When sickness came, when confusion clouded the land, or when war threatened, the people went to the Dibia, who in turn listened for the voice of Agun Isi. The ancient Igbos feared and respected Agun Isi, for to walk with him was to walk between clarity and madness. Some who carried his spirit grew wise, their names remembered for generations. Others, unable to bear the weight, lost themselves, wandering in confusion. Agun's gift was double-edged. It could heal, but it could also destroy. Those who accepted his call became keepers of knowledge, the ones who mixed herbs to cure fever, who read the cowries to reveal secrets, who stood between the living and the spirits. They were Agun's children, and through them the people found guidance. Even now, though many no longer build his shrines, Agun Isi remains the spirit of wisdom and mystery, a reminder that knowledge is power, but only those chosen can bear its weight. The gods of the Igbo were more than names in stories. They were teachers, guardians, and reminders of life's balance. Each spirit carried a lesson: strength, patience, wisdom, or cunning. Those shrines may fade and rituals may change. Their echoes remain in proverbs, in festivals, and in the living culture of the Igbo people. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic myths.